hey, didn't see you there. Just kidding. My homegirl said that's how I start my videos. But I mean, I'm a new YouTuber. What do you want me to do? It's going to be a lot of trial and error, okay? So, hey, it's Mimi T, and welcome back to my channel. So if you're new here, I make videos about what it's like being an author, fashion videos, and girl talks. And this video will be an author video. I know there's a lot of people who want to write a book, and I'm a self-published author. Here's my book, F-Boy Repellent, A Guide to Less Heartbreak and Headache. And it took me, what, like 2 years to figure out how to self-publish this book. And I know a lot of people want to self-publish and, you know, write a book or a poem book or a quote book or some sort of publication. And as somebody who has completed this task, I have a lot of wisdom. So today's video will be 3 mistakes that I made as a newbie author. So if you want to see that video, then stay tuned. All right, so the first mistake I made was I did not do my research ahead of time. There's a lot of videos on YouTube. There's a lot of materials. There's a lot out there that talks about self-publishing, because that's what it is. Writing your own book, putting it out to the world, and yeah, that whole entire long process. There's a lot of information out there. And there are author groups on Facebook. There are, you know, even though I don't know anybody, I don't know any authors personally, except for my auntie. But I think that's it. I don't know too many authors personally, but if you don't know too many authors personally, then you should definitely try to join some sort of group. I'm sure there's probably a Meet Me or something, but in order to be an author or start on any journey of entrepreneurship, because being an author is starting your own business, which is something I didn't know either. So I didn't know that being an author was basically starting a business. I thought you just wrote your book, released it, made money, that's it. I didn't know it was a whole business. So I would say the number one thing I didn't do was do enough research. I did a little research, but I feel like if I did more research in the beginning, my process would have been smoother. So that's the first mistake I made. Okay, the second mistake was, see, if I did my research, probably wouldn't have done this either, so I got the idea to write my book just randomly. And then I just jumped into the process. And the first thing I did was I created my cover. Now, this is the cover. This cover was made before I even wrote a sentence in my book. Does that make sense to you? It made complete sense to me because I just had a vision of what I wanted the cover to look like. But turns out that covers are not even that important. Like, it really just depends on what the reader wants to see. I just had this vision of pink and just like I thought this was the cutest thing. Even though this is not originally what I had in my head, I had like more of a like cartoony look to the can, not like a realistic one like this. And then I had different idea for the spray, and I actually wanted my book to be in the shape of a spray bottle. I thought that would have been so fly. Then I realized how hard it is to print books that are in the shape of a spray bottle. So it was a lot of trial and error. But anyway, my first step was creating my cover. So creating your cover is actually one of the last steps of your book, but I did it first. So when you create your cover, you actually have to tell. So I didn't create my cover myself. I hired somebody, and she asked me what is the width of the book. I had no idea. I didn't even write it. So that is why you have to do your research. And I'm actually starting to develop my own little self-publishing class because I think I made almost every mistake you can make. And I would have loved to have something where someone would break down, okay, here's the first step, here's how you write, here's how you copyright, here's how, just like true ABCs, like no hiding the ball, and even include who I used to do the cover, who I used to format the book, because getting the book to even look like this, somebody did it. And I didn't even know I had to have somebody to do it. I thought I could do it myself. Oh, no, girl, no, girl. Do you know how many formats of this book I have? And each of them have different reasons. Girl, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot to write a book. It's not just like a 2-minute, like, it's not like you slap. This was not slapped together. A few people I hired to do certain parts of this book. Girl, it's a lot. But anyway, that's why I'm making these author videos, so I can help y'all out, and then you guys can pay it forward or something. So anyway, that's the second mistake I made, was jumping too quick and making the cover first, even though the cover is one of the last things that you make or put together for your book. Okay, so the third thing that I did was I started marketing my book too late. So how about you're supposed to start marketing your book before you even write it? Girl, who knew? Not me. So I started marketing my book after it was almost done. And you're actually supposed to start marketing. You're supposed to market as you go. You're supposed to market beforehand, tell people it's coming. You're supposed to be marketing the whole way through. And I didn't know that. And marketing is vital, especially if you do not have a platform. If you do not have an existing platform, an entire group of people that you know is going to buy your product or book, you're already late in the game, girl or boy. You have to start marketing early. So this is F-Boy Repellent. I am starting Basic B Repellent, and I'm gonna start documenting that journey on here because I wrote this book for the ladies, of course. I love my women empowerment, you know. So, but I got a lot of complaints, like guys were like, what about us? What about us? Girls are not innocent, blah blah blah. And they're right, there are basic B's out there. That is true. So marketing, you can start in different ways. Start telling your friends you're about to write a book. I would start all my social media even beforehand. You know, just get people interested so that when you drop your book, you already have buyers. So, and that just marketing gets deep. And I'm late with the marketing, so that's how I know. Because when I released it, nobody bought it. Because nobody knew about it, I was too late. I think I got a few sales. And don't think you're going to be selling like 1,000 million copies in the first day. That's another mistake. My other mistake is I thought it'd be easy to sell a book. It's not. There are millions, I think it's millions, or like hundreds of thousands of books published every day. The market is very saturated, so you have to make yourself different. So that's another thing. You're competing with a lot of people, and some of these people have platforms already, etc., whatever. So you have to keep that in mind too. So that's why they say that book writing should be more like a hobby or a passion. Most people don't make a living off of it, but I feel like it's possible if you know, have more than one book, or one book really pops off by miracle or something like that. You can, it's possible, but most people get a couple of dollars a month from the royalties of their book. It's not something they live off of. It can be, I'm sure it can be, as your book sales grow, as people's, like J.K. Rowling, like Rowling, the Harry Potter lady. She made millions of dollars on her book, but she didn't hit it off as a writer till like her 40s, 50s, later in the game, you know. So it's a whole process. So let's go through a summary of all of my mistakes. The first mistake was not doing my research. Second mistake was doing my cover first. Third mistake was not marketing early enough. Fourth was not understanding how hard it is or how competitive being an author is. So I hope you learned a little bit from my mistakes. The link to this book will be below, as well as social media, so you can definitely come and say hey, and then comment below if you learned something new about what is it like to be an author, or if you as an author made mistakes, or what mistake did you make recently and you learned your lesson from. I think that's a better comment below. Like, what was a recent mistake that you made? And you're like, dang, I wish somebody told me about this ahead of time. And put that book, ooh, about threw my book on the floor, girl or boy, no judgment. Yeah, and that concludes this video. I post videos every Wednesday at 6 o'clock, so tell a friend and tell a friend, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Bye.